This week, we interview Danny Moya and Nelson Ruiz from MoyaRuiz Cigars. We talk about visiting cigar shops in our Debonair Ideal segment and cover everything from fivers to fight Chuck Norris form cigars in our Stogies of the Week. All that and more, so stay tuned. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the Stogie Geek Show. This segment is brought to you by Aging Room Small Batch Cigar Line, the highest rated boutique cigar brands of our times. What would you do next? Well, if you're Rafael Nodal in boutique cigar blends, you would combine the three most important passions of your life, Cuba, music, and cigars, and create a new classic, La Boheme Cigars. La Boheme is Rafael's take on the golden age of Cuban cigars. La Boheme is a sophisticated blend of extra-aged and hard-to-find tobaccos from the Dominican Republic. A medium-bodied cigar rich in flavors reminiscent of the island he left 30 years ago in a small boat with his family. Why wait for the embargo to be lifted? Smoke La Boheme today. Blending, it's in their DNA. And by Saga Cigars, makers of the Saga Golden Age cigar. The Golden Age is a cigar that takes you back to the classic days of cigar smoking. Through 6 generations of experience by the Reyes family, the Saga Golden Age delivers a timeless blend that uses the nobility of the tobacco to bring you a perfect balance of power and flavor. It narrates better than words the history of a family's tradition in tobacco, delivering a cigar much like the ones they used to smoke in the times of Hemingway. Saga Golden Age is a full-bodied, full-flavored Dominican Puro with tobaccos from one farm. The blend features a Corojo 2006 wrapper and filler from original Cuban seeds grown in the Dominican Republic. Available in 4 sizes at an affordable price, the Saga Golden Age is sure to please you and take you back on a journey to yesteryear. And by AJ Fernandez. Cigar connoisseurs are already raving about this exquisite cigar which pays homage to Christopher Columbus's discovery of tobacco during his expedition of New World. This medium to full-bodied cigar shows off the kind of exquisite construction that is expected by master blender AJ Fernandez. This gorgeous box-press cigar features a delicious dark chocolate Nicaraguan wrapper that houses a blend of Ometepe, Condega, and Esteli filler that is bound with a jalapa binder. Once lit, the perfectly balanced and refined New World gives off a beautiful billow of smoke and hits you immediately with some spice and citrus flavors. As you begin to lose yourself in the rich aromas of the New World, the flavors become more complex and begin to express hints of hazelnut and coffee. The New World is a first-time collaboration between AJ Fernandez and his father Ismael, which really makes this cigar stand out in the AJ Fernandez line. To commemorate this union of father and son, AJ Fernandez is offering you this masterpiece at around an MSRP of $6, unheard of for a cigar of this caliber. AJ Fernandez invites you to embark on the journey and smoke what he guarantees to be one of the most talked about cigars of the year, the New World, Cigar Journal's #1 cigar of the year. Welcome to the Stogie Geek Show, episode 148. This is July 9th, 2015. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian. I actually have a special guest here in studio with us. Mr. Apollo is here with us. Apollo, welcome back to the Stogie Geek Show. You're making this like a regular thing, dude. We're going to have to suck you in. I mean, you're kind of in between jobs right now, which is affording you the luxury of some time. I understand that. But we're lobbying very much to have you back on the Stogie Geek Show.
Happily unemployed until Monday.
That's right. That's right.
Good
and I think you're staying like the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
You're
whole
here
time.
the whole night for the after party and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We're doing it up.
I was writing on the board the production schedule, and I put at the last time slot after party. I don't know what that means, but we're going to have an after party. Mm-hmm. On the lines via Skype, Mr. Will Cooper.
Greetings, everybody.
Welcome, Will. It's nice to have you here this evening. This has just been a marathon day of recording. We recorded a lot of content today, which you'll be seeing trickling out throughout the next several weeks. And even months. We're working on a longer-term project, working on a website update. It's going to be a long time before that stuff comes to fruition, but there's a lot of things happening here. So Will and I are very busy, very busy.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of good things coming up, guys, and you're going to be blown away.
We're very busy smoking cigars, which is one of the things I love about this job, is that basically my primary job and Will's primary job and Apollo's primary job, other than making cocktails, is to smoke cigars.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, that's really what it's all about. and we're smoking some fabulous cigars that you had sent us up, Will, from our next guest. I'd like to give Will the opportunity and the pleasure of introducing our next guests.
Yeah. So I've been kind of wanting to get these two gentlemen on the show for a while. I call them the North-South connection. We have Danny Moya and Nelson Ruiz from MoyaRuiz Cigars. And I got the Ruiz right, Nelson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. We were going to welcome Nelson and Danny to the Stogie Geek Show.
Thank you for having us.
So, guys, how did you come up with the name for the company? Oh, wait, never mind. I got it.
I'm the boy in the relationship. That's why I got the last name.
How did you come up with who got the first name first?
That's
though?
right.
I mean,
It sounded better.
It's all about how it sounded, right?
And alphabetical order, too.
well, they say, like, you know, the star of the show is usually the one who's last in the credits, too. So you can look at it like that, right? Sorry, Danny.
It's all right.
That was a bad joke.
So, Danny and Nelson, how did you guys respectively get your start in the cigar industry?
Nelson, you're always good at this. Go ahead.
I've been friends with Eric for a long time, and I've known Danny for quite a while as well. So basically, when Eric opened his own factory, Danny reached out to me and said, "Hey, this would be the right time for us to get something going in the cigar business." And as Eric Espinosa and the La Zona team and everyone starts to grow.
I'm glad you said that, because when you said Eric, I said he's got to be talking about Eric Espinosa. Okay, so I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as they start to grow in the industry and we could kind of grow with them, and it'd be a real good move. And we talked to Eric, and, you know, at first it was like anything. We had to sort out a bunch of stuff, and then we got everything going, and it's been unbelievably close to. This is going to be our third show that we're at with, you know, as a company, and we went to one before, so it's almost 4 years already, because time flies, man.
So, Danny and Nelson, tell me about the cigar we're smoking. We've got a cigar called The Rake, and Apollo and I just lit it up right before the show. It's a box-pressed, I would say, Robusto-sized cigar, and I want to know about it. I've got some thoughts about what I think is in the cigar, but I want to hear from you guys.
That's our new release that we just released. Actually, maybe about a week ago, and because basically our theme for our cigars is dominoes and poker. The first brand that we released was La Jugada, which was Spanish name, very Cuban-esque, catered towards dominoes. And the Rake is obviously more modern. It's very, the band is not a traditional band. And this comes in 4 sizes, from a Corona Gorda all the way to a 6x60. And we've been getting great reviews on it so far. Everybody that's tried it has personally sent me a text message or called me. And the couple stores that it's in, it's doing real well. So we're real proud of it.
It definitely tastes like Nicaraguan tobacco to me. As soon as I lit it up, I got that Nicaraguan flavor. And I think, Apollo, you commented about the flavor profile being chocolatey, a little bit spicy, and I said, yeah, it's got to be Nicaraguan tobacco. Now, are they all box pressed?
No, there's two slight box press. The Robusto and the Toro. The Corona Gorda is round, and the 6x60 is round. But you're right on what you're tasting, because kind of the unique thing with that blend is that actually has 4 ligeros from Nicaragua. It's 2 from Esteli, 2 from Jalapa. And the binder that we used is from a small private farm that Eric is buying tobacco from.
Yeah, it says not disclosed for the binder, I'm told.
Yeah. Because you know how that is. The minute somebody, they're using, it's the cigar tastes great. Now that tobacco's harder to get or more expensive. So it's kind of important to not say too many things about the blend.
So where in the blending process did you decide that these 2 sizes, the Toro and the Robusto, would be box pressed and these other would be Parejo? Was that like a thing you decided somewhere in the blending process? Because from my experience, the box press smoke's completely different from a Parejo.
Our customers, visiting stores and getting the feedback from customers, a lot of people like box press cigars. I like box press cigars. So with this project, we said, you know what, let's pick the 2 that taste the best in box press, and let's make those box press, and then let's go with the other ones round. Just to kind of be different than rather than having all round or all box press.
Yeah, typically it's one or the other. You don't usually see a mixture of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm also me personally, I'm not a fan of either big cigars or small cigars box press. You know what I mean? So if you're going with a larger ring gauge or a small size, I think the round cigars are a little, preferable to me at least.
Nelson, you're absolutely right. The more I think about it, it's the kind of average size cigars that seem to work the best in a box press. Something really small or something really large doesn't seem to work all that well necessarily all the time in a box press.
It's kind of weird when you put it like a 6x60 box press in your mouth. It doesn't, at least to me, it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some people like it, to which his own.
There are some larger ring gauge box presses which I like, but they're very few and far between. Certainly, it's very interesting how the box press changes the flavor too. The draw it tends to be a little looser as you noticed, Apollo. You get a looser draw. I think you get a better combustion on a box press. It's more surface face of the tobacco. Did you blend the tobacco kind of with that in mind?
Sure. Well, with a box press, typically box press cigars take a little bit less tobacco because when you press them, they expand. So you have to have a little bit less tobacco in them.
Interesting. So we talked. Will, did you have more questions about the rake?
Yeah, I want to talk a little about that Connecticut broadleaf. So, I mean, this is your first cigar with a Connecticut broadleaf. Was that as part of the blending process? Did you go into it saying, hey, you know what, we want to make a Connecticut broadleaf, or was it kind of the other way around? You were working with something. Let's see how it works with the Connecticut broadleaf.
We just kind of played around with different, the same binder and filler, different wrappers, and just the Connecticut broadleaf just really stood out on this particular blend. And we always try to do things different, like, whatever, Team Espinosa might be coming out with or anybody else. We just try to be different so we don't have the same cigars and stuff like that. But the blend did taste a lot better in the Connecticut broadleaf.
I want to go back to the 4 Ligeros with this cigar because here's what I found real interesting. Yeah, I get some of that Ligero spice, but this is not a cigar that was a nicotine bomb at all.
No.
It was real. I was real surprised. But I could taste the Ligero. There's no doubt you could taste the Ligero in this, but I was still surprised it wasn't the nicotine bomb. What went into that thinking a little with the 4 Ligeros? How did that end up coming about for the blend?
It's a blend that's very balanced because the 2 Ligeros are from SLE, which are very strong, and then 2 Ligeros are from Jalapa, which the tobacco tends to be sweeter. And with the binder, Hector and Eric did a great job of working with us to blend the cigar. It's very balanced, but you're right. You typically hear it's got 4 Ligeros. It's going to be unsmokable, but that's not the case.
No, not at all.
That seems to be a continuing trend, though. I think a lot more people are using Ligero, and it's kind of got a bad name. People think, oh, the cigar's got Ligero in it. Like, it's going to be so strong, I can't smoke it, right? Because it's the top of the plant, gets the most nutrients, has the most nicotine. But that hasn't been the case in a lot of Ligero cigars that have Ligero in it. It just hasn't been the case. Is that a factor of the aging process more than anything else?
It could be that. It could also be the different primings that you select for the Ligero. It's not like we went with the intention of, okay, let's make something, strong. We don't even list the cigar as being full body. We list it medium to full, more on the fuller side. But for us, we're happy that people don't find it too strong, and that was the idea. Because at the end of the day, you want something that customers are going to be happy with and that they could smoke.
I definitely agree on the medium to full.
Yeah.
To me, this is like a porter stout beer. You get a lot of kind of cocoa, mocha flavors, and a lot of vanilla flavors, and I really like that a lot. It's not overpowering at all.
No, it's not.
This blend, it's got a very long finish. Like you taste all the flavors in your mouth.
But the finish is nice and smooth on the palate, which is what I really. I know I commented we were texting, Danny. That's what I was blown away with, how smooth that long finish was. Because sometimes you get those long finishes and they leave an aftertaste, and there was nothing like that.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the cigar is actually that flavor you get in your mouth and the aftertaste. When we first smoked it, the cigar definitely coats your mouth with a lot of flavor.
want to talk a little about the what. So for folks who don't know, what is the rake mean? You talked about a connection to gaming. For folks who don't know, what is a rake?
Yeah, I think of like yard work. and this isn't a cigar. There are some cigars, guys, that I would totally smoke while I'm doing yard work, right? This is not
Danny,
one of them. This has a lot of subtle flavors. Yeah, this has a lot of subtle flavors where I would want to sit down, have a nice cocktail or spirit with it, or even a stout beer would probably pair pretty well.
Good bourbon.
With this. A good bourbon pairs well with any cigar, right? That would go really well.
I'm liking Apollo more and more.
Yes. Paul's our resident mixologist.
That's why I wear an apron.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out and rake the yard in this cigar. And not that I go out and rake the yard at any other day, but I wouldn't go out and rake the yard with this cigar at all.
Danny, explain the rake.
The rake, it's funny, when we announced it, a lot of people would email us and they're like, is it going to be like cigars that actually look like a rake? And we're like, no, the rake is actually what makes gambling illegal, because, you know, you could play a cash game anywhere, but the minute that you rake the pot, that the house gets a percentage of each winning, that's what makes it illegal. So that's where the term the rake comes. When it's just something that I wanted an English name for our next line and to deal with poker. So the rake, as soon as I saw the name and the whole concept, I was like, I like it a lot.
Yeah, and if you go to the casino, the black boxes that the dealers have on their tables, those are actually called rake boxes. And the box design that we did with this cigar is a replica of a rake box. It has the 2 slots on the top. So it has one to insert poker chips and one to insert money. So if you were playing poker like in a home game or at a store, you could actually use the boxes. They're functional in the poker game.
Oh,
you could
that's
use
pretty cool.
rake boxes for poker games.
Not that we're condoning illegal gambling or anything like that.
No, we're talking non. They're playing for cigars.
That's
Right,
it.
right,
That's
right,
it.
right. Yeah, you know, I kind of, when I look at the band, you have that little slot kind of design on to the left of this band. It kind of reminded me of those secret poker rooms that you kind of knock on the door and you have to give a code to go in. Password, yeah. What's the password?
That was the whole idea. You see a lot of those speakeasy peepholes in, you used to see them back in the day with prohibition in this country, and then you'd see them in illegal gambling rooms. So that was the idea for that band.
Nice. I'm going to excuse myself for a
This
second.
guy Apollo's on fire.
I'm going to excuse myself for a moment because just the description you guys gave, I have to make a Prohibition cocktail. I'm going to make the Scofflaw.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to drink it.
it's going to be great.
I can't wait. I don't know what it is, but you haven't yet to disappoint me with your cocktails this evening, so
I haven't let Paul down yet.
that's right.
Wait, he's gonna make stuff and he ain't gonna send it over here?
No, so I know. I
that-
wish everyone says. I wish we could send cocktails. People just have to come here to the
You gotta
studio.
give us like the recipe so we can make it ahead of time.
That's right. When he comes back with the cocktail, we'll give the recipe. Absolutely. I wanna. Did you have any more questions about the rake, Will? And we started off with their newer cigar.
Yeah, no, I think we covered what I wanted to cover on the rake.
Yeah. So Danny and Nelson, tell me about the La Jugada. Did I say that right?
No.
Nope.
Go ahead, Nels.
La Jugada was our first line. We originally made 2 blends, which were Prieto and the Habano. The Prieto is the San Andrés Mexican. Habano is an Ecuadorian Habano. We weren't completely happy with the final blend of the Habano, so we didn't release them together. We're a smaller company. We're really more interested in quality and building customer base than just coming out with cigars. That's why in 4 years we've really come out with 3 core lines only. So what we did was we were very happy with the Maduro, so we released that one first. And then we worked on the blend of the Habano for almost another year. And then at the following trade show, we released the La Jugada Habano. We definitely want to continue the La Jugada line. I don't foresee that those being the only 2 blends. So we are probably going to do some other projects with that. But we wanted a couple things. We wanted to be at a very good price point. Those cigars typically are between about $7 and $9 retail. So we're very happy with the price point they're at. We wanted cigars that had a lot of flavor. And we wanted cigars that basically there's the two blends that me and Danny really like the most, and those were the two that we came out with first, and then we started to work on different projects like the rake that we just came out with.
Well, now we can't talk about La Jugada without talking about the nunchuck. Tell us about that project.
The nunchuck was, our company was coming to its year anniversary, and right when we started, for those people that might not know, Cigar Dojo's a big social media app, pretty much the Instagram for cigars, and they kind of started at the same time. And our cigars, the guys in the group really supported us from day one, and we to this day we still get emails, from different stores around the country saying, "Hey, I got this couple guys here that rant and rave about your cigars. We'd like to open up an account." So because of them is the reason why we made the nunchuck. We wanted to make something limited edition, and rather than just coming out with a cigar and slapping on limited edition and it not meaning anything, we wanted to dedicate it to the Cigar Dojo and its members. And it's nice because it allowed us to kind of think outside the box. Once a year, rather than doing something very traditional, we said, "Hey, let's make something very unique, something that the industry hasn't seen." So we came out with the nunchuck.
Well, certainly a 7x54 tied together with the nunchuck style is unique. What was it like making that cigar in production?
Pain in the ass.
I think the bigger problem was shipping the cigar.
Yeah.
When we first designed it, we didn't think about how growing pains. Obviously, we didn't think about how hard and how fragile the connection would be. So that kind of was a learning process and a learning curve for us because as we started shipping the cigars, and we had to kind of retweak everything in the box a little bit to be able to ship them more so they would stay intact.
The one thing I thought that was real unique, I guess, from a cigar, I look at the business aspect of the cigar, is that you sold that cigar in pairs. So it was meant to be, you get a box of them, retail gets a box of them, but, the retail's going to sell the pair of those cigars. And I think you guys were probably the first, I'm thinking, to do that. I couldn't think of anyone, but I know someone did it afterwards, but I think you guys were the first as far as doing that piece goes.
And it was nice to retailers because they had a higher price point, for an individual purchase, and it was nice, social because sometimes guys will buy it and smoke one each. I actually had a contest with one of the guys at one of the shops if he could smoke them both within an hour, that I'd buy it for him, and the guy ended up yellow and green and purple, and 14 inches of cigar in 1 hour is not a easy feat, so that didn't go over too well.
Yeah, it's
a stronger cigar than the regular La Jugada. Is that true?
Correct.
Yeah. That blend was we couldn't come out with a cigar called nunchuck and have it be mild. It just wouldn't be appropriate.
But back to the point with the two cigars, like when people wanted to buy that cigar, they'd either buy a box, but I don't know anyone who said, "I just want one." They wanted that nunchuck, they wanted that fused connection. I think that was part of the whole charm of that thing.
Of course, and the stores, in reality, the feedback that we got is that even instead of buying just a pair, customers would buy the box because it's like you just don't want to have just a pair. You want to have the box. The packaging was unique, the whole concept. So stores did really well with it.
And it was your first Nicaraguan puro, correct?
Yeah, that is true. That cigar wrapper binder filler is all from Nicaragua.
Do you guys have any other projects like that planned or in the works? Or I'm assuming that, from what I've been told, that went really well for you and both Cigar Dojo.
Any other projects with the dojo?
Any other similar projects like the nunchuck or limited releases like that?
I'll let Danny take this one.
Well, yeah, this year's release is called the Chinese Finger Trap, and basically, since there's a lot of different companies in our industry that have like their little niche, Tatuaje does the Halloween series,
right.
Quesada does the beer, so we said, hey, you know what? Let's kind of keep in that same theme,
That's smart.
Asian martial arts. Let's not try to copy anybody else by coming out with a Halloween cigar or beer cigar. So every year we'll release, something to cater to the dojo members. And this year, our limited edition happens to be the Chinese finger trap.
So what?
So-
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go ahead, Paul. I think you would ask the
The
genesis
same
of that.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the Chinese finger trap? Is it going to be 2 cigars together? Is it 1 cigar? Like what's the details on that?
No, it's a 6 by 50, so it's a little bit skinnier of a Toro. Same thing, it's a 10-count box, and it's just, each individual cigar has a small band, and then it's got a big band that replicates an actual Chinese finger trap. We wanted to see if we can actually use an actual finger trap, but the cigars would get damaged.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm jealous. The guy showing up with the drinks.
He's
I'm over here.
got these awesome
over here
glasses
drinking
for these
Corona.
cocktails too.
I've been going through this every week. So
So what is this cocktail?
So this is the Scofflaw, which is a really neat cocktail. Basically, imagine a Manhattan with a bit of lemon juice and grenadine.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
It is delicious.
Really fun history, too. It's a Prohibition-era cocktail, 1920s, made in Paris to make fun of the Americans.
Are you?
So
are you
explain
gonna
what
be,
a scofflaw is.
Are you guys going to be at the show in 2 weeks?
Will be there. We will not, unfortunately.
Oh man, he was going to make me a scofflaw in New Orleans.
I'm gonna book him for Vegas next year, though. He doesn't know that yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
the-
We're gonna have a
I
cocktail
gotta wait.
bar
I gotta
set
wait
up.
a year to drink this thing.
yeah, I want to have a Stogie Geeks booth actually. So, yeah. So the Chinese finger trap, you went with that. Can you tell us a little about the blend, or what you can disclose of the blend?
The blend is an ancient Chinese secret. That's how.
I was gonna try.
That's a good one, Coop. You were trying to pull a fast one on us. That I gotta hand it to you. No, listen, we don't. The reality is that we don't reveal much about our blends, anyways. We pretty much just say it's Nicaraguan binder filler, and then we'll say the wrapper. So with this project, we just said, you know what? We're not gonna mention anything. We're not gonna say is it mild, medium, strong, what the wrapper is, fillers. That's going to be left. That's going to remain a mystery. It's an unbelievable blend, and we're real proud of it. We actually had a conference call with Eric a couple days ago, and he was like, "You guys, this cigar cannot be limited." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "This blend is absolutely fantastic." And I said, "Listen, it is what it is. That's the blend that was chosen for this project, and it's limited. We only made 1,000 boxes of it, and when they're gone, they're gone."
Yeah, they actually went on sale today. Today it was the. I think they sold probably 70 or 80% of the initial allotment that they had. I think they might be sold out tonight.
Because we always like to do a private sale for dojo members, since it's a cigar in dedication to them. We want dojo members to be able to have first dibs before we release it to the masses and all of our accounts.
That's good. They're good guys, and Eric's doing some great work there. Eric Dojo too, that is. So I'm gonna ask the question here. You know this coming. So the packaging. Let's talk a little. Why don't you describe the packaging first?
The idea of the packaging is. It's a vintage, I guess, very 1940s, 50s, like game board box. It's not a traditional wood box. It's a cardboard box, and it's if you would have bought a Chinese finger trap in that era, that's kind of the box that it would have come in. And we just thought it'd be something neat with the packaging. I don't think anybody's done an actual cigar box. With 10 or 20 cigars in a cardboard box, and for anybody that's seen it, it's really neat. The packaging really catches your attention.
Yeah, we have a picture of it up on Cigar Coop. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah, we're trying to get a picture of that up on the video. I just sent it to our production staff, so hopefully, a few minutes we can get that up there.
Now that packaging, it was not met without some critics. So in terms of, there were some folks that said it was maybe catering to children. It was the wrong time with the FDA. Steve Saka was on the show a couple weeks ago. He had some comments on that as well. Why don't you kind of give us your point of view of that packaging?
I'll take this one. We never definitely did anything with the intention of catering to kids. What we did was we wanted to come out like just like we did with the nunchuck. We wanted to come out with something unique and have fun with it once a year. Even on the box, it says ages 21 and up. And,
It does say that, yeah.
and it's packaging that's different. It's definitely colorful. It has a lot of the Chinese colors in terms of yellow and orange. We went with all the different colors, even though it's the same blend. They have different color finger traps inside the box. We respect Saka. I mean, he's definitely been in the business a long time, and everyone has an opinion. It's not something that we did with that intention at all. If he took it that way, definitely it wasn't meant to be that way. And this isn't a cigar again that's going to be part of our core line. This is something we did once a year. We'll sell it more to have something unique, creative, and for us, it's not only what the cigar itself is and making the blends. It's being creative in the packaging, the box, and the whole presentation that we're putting out for our customers. So, that's what we try to do. We try to be different than, your typical cigar manufacturer.
I think it's cool because I can see my grandfather going into a cigar shop, seeing this box, and being brought back to his childhood.
Yes.
Like that's just amazing.
But yeah,
It's a project that, sorry, Coop, it's a project that once a year you could just let loose and have fun. Not everything has to be the same. Not every. Can you imagine if all cigars looked the same? If all music sounded the same? You know what I mean? It just for once a year we're allowed to just have fun and be different, and that's what the project was. You can't. People's opinion or people's opinion. What are you gonna?
Every cigar has its own personality, and part of that personality is the packaging, from the band to whether it has a band in the foot, whether it's a band in the head, whether the band covers the whole cigar, how it's packaged in the box, and how the cigar smokes and tastes is all part of that cigar personality. So I think it's really cool that cigar manufacturers such as yourselves are embarking on these new projects to give different personalities to all these cigars.
Sure, it's shelf space is very scarce in humidors nowadays.
Yes.
So it's like, how do you stand out? Do you stand out with a nice band? But the packaging is, at the end of the day, what catches the consumer's attention. Absolutely.
And you have to stand out. I mean, even 5 years ago, I don't think there was as many different kinds of packaging. And certainly in the past 5 years, I've seen a huge transition in cigar shops. And on our next segment coming up, we're going to talk about visiting cigar shops and what that experience is like. There's so many different cigars now with so many different types of packaging. And I'm not just talking about boutique blends. You've got larger companies, too, that are throwing their hat in the ring and coming out with these new and interesting ideas all the time. So you have to do something to stand out, Danny,
Yeah, I don't foresee that cigar even being really in regular stores for too long. They're selling individual sticks out of a box on the shelf. With the price point of a whole full box, retail being right around $100, it's at a price point just like the nunchuck. People are going to come in, they're going to buy the box because it's unique, it's different, and then they're going to put it in their humidor. They're going to keep it. So I don't foresee it being something that, again, just like the nunchuck is being bought individual sticks. I'm sure some stores will do it, but the majority, I think, will be more at events or box purchases of the Chinese finger trap.
Well, Nelson and Danny, I'm totally biased in saying this, but I love your support of social media and doing the cigars and offering it to the social media community first. And as you said, it may never reach that many stores, and if it does, they're probably going to buy the box because it's a collector's item in and of itself. As I'm sure as being a really good cigar. I mean, just in you talking about it, I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, no, I want to clarify one thing in that comment. It'll definitely reach stores, but I don't think stores will sell them as individual cigars. Because we're taking probably 70 to 80% of the production to the trade show. So we are going to offer this to our retailers and to brick and mortars because they've definitely supported us and helped us grow. But again, like I said, they'll probably sell them, I would assume, by the box. A lot more than individual sales.
And we've seen that from lots of cigar companies in the past, too. And I guess I'm kind of a fringe case, but I'll always buy the box because it's cool.
I mean, I want just the box, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks so awesome. Like, I love that style.
But having that, really cool-looking box, being a box of 10 makes it a much easier box purchase at a price of $100. When you can get 10 great cigars and cool packaging, and it's a limited cigar. You're right, Nelson. People are they're going to buy the box.
I was talking to Nelson about this off air, and I think when we're really going to see the positive feedback is when customers actually try the blend. Like I said before, even though we're not disclosing anything about it, the blend is just, it's unreal. It's amazing.
Is it so like strength and body wise? Can you describe the characteristics of the cigar?
What did Master Sensei said? He said sweet caramel.
Yeah.
It's listen. All our cigars are in the medium. Medium plus. We don't. We try to make cigars that we like and that customers are going to like.
So what you're saying, Danny, is it's not a mild Connecticut and it's not a powerhouse cigar.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So based on
that's as much as you want to say. I get it.
Exactly.
They're
Based
good,
on
man.
what
They're
you
good.
just
They're trying to get the info.
Sorry. So what you just described makes me think of my girlfriend. I like to get her.
Oh no, that's a good quality to have in a cigar, Danny and Nelson.
So I like to take her out and get some 1950s clothing. This is what reminds me of. A really beautiful package, great delivery. Just awesome experience.
You want to role play? There's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay. It's cool.
In terms of these, was there any pressure from the retailers, on the packaging, or was it more positive? How was the perception for the people buying your cigars? That's probably what's going to count. How did that go?
We haven't received any negative feedback whatsoever. To be quite honest with you, we send out emails to all of our customers, obviously showing them new products. Whether it's the rake or the Chinese finger trap. Anytime we come out with something new, and it's the response has been very positive. I can honestly say I haven't had one person say, "Hey, I don't agree with this," or whatever the case might be. It's all been positive.
So how many stores are you guys in?
Oh my! I definitely say close, if not a little bit past, maybe 500 accounts.
Okay.
The past 3 years.
Nice footprint.
500 account, and pretty well spread across the U.S.
We're more the Northeast, the Southeast, a little bit in the Midwest, not so much in the West Coast. We'd like to have a lot more representation there and in Texas.
Yeah. So what cigar manufacturers have been telling me about Texas is it's been awesome for them, and some of our sponsors and some of the cigar manufacturers we've interviewed say that Texas has been like awesome for them.
Yeah, I can name at least four of our sponsors who are right now really focusing on Texas.
Yep.
Texas has a lot of accounts. Even if you look at the list of retailers that go to the trade show, Texas by far had the most amount of retailers going out to the show. Mm-hmm. So they have lots of accounts. They have a big cigar smoking community. So that's definitely
they do big time. I think it goes in their love of freedom, right? And cigars is one of those things they like to do as part of their freedom. So I think it speaks to their culture, and I think it's great.
Yeah, we see too that what we hear too is that there's a very openness to try to bring in new stuff in Texas is what we're hearing, which is different than some and Danny, you probably see it in New York. It's probably a lot tougher in New York City to bring in the new stuff.
Sure.
If you hear any crazy background noises, that's the guys here.
It's New York is especially Manhattan is a very, very difficult market to get into because here you have the stores, pretty much the headquarters for Davidoff, Nat Sherman, General, now JR Altadis, just acquired Cigar Inn. But yeah, New York is very, very difficult. Manhattan is a very difficult market to get into. You got to get real big. A lot of customers have to ask for the product, and it is tough. Everything outside of Manhattan is, we've conquered. It's Manhattan that's the difficult one.
So where are you guys are you guys distributing in Rhode Island?
In Rhode Island, I don't believe we have any accounts in Rhode Island.
Okay. Well, when you want to do that, just call me. I'll help. We can help with that. That's also a compliment because I really like your cigar.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. We appreciate
definitely
it.
help you get into Rhode Island.
Yeah, it was really interesting, the story, how I kind of got hooked on the cigars. Danny and I had a mutual friend named Mikey Black who passed away. And I remember Mikey, is a guy who owned a shop in Haddonfield, and I'd smoked there. And then when I moved, I kept in touch with him, and he just one day was raving about the Prieto. And, I know Mike, and he was a very tough customer, so to speak, and he loved that cigar. So that's kind of how I got hooked on it. And then Dojo got me hooked on Habano. So after he gave that cigar a year, and I went and smoked it, I was blown away by the Habano. I even thought that was better.
Yeah, that really definitely helped us out a lot, and it helped us get a lot of exposure with that blend and that cigar. So we're very thankful of that. And from the beginning, Danny and I are both very into social media, and we've decided to use social media as a primary source of marketing and really being able to connect with customers and connect with different bloggers, and it's really helped out a lot. So we appreciate what you guys do for us as well.
Thank you. Now, in terms of connecting with customers, you guys have come up with another new concept. We see a lot of cigar companies come out with they brand a lounge. Now, you guys have put a different spin on that. Why don't you talk about that?
Up here in New Jersey, actually, a Cigar Emporium in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, which is a store that's been there for many years. I'm real good friends with the owner, Richard Yanuzzi, and it was kind of just one day me being there because he's that shop is real close to me, and it was just kind of one of those things. It was more timing than anything. It was kind of like saw his because he's got a lounge, and then in the back he's got the area where they play cards and dominoes and all of that stuff, and it was kind of a little bit beat up and things like that. And then when we were coming out with the new cigar, I personally took him some samples, showed him the packaging, and then we just kind of like collaborated together, and it was both of our ideas. He was like, well, let's do a big tournament here, and then the table was all messed up. I said, well, let's rewrap the table and make it a rake poker table. And he's like, that's a great idea. Why don't we just maybe brand this a lounge? And I said, well, rather than doing the whole lounge, let's just focus on making this the rake poker room. And we just kind of both clicked on the idea. We're a smaller company, so for us, I think that's a much better fit, being where the whole theme of our brands is. And
and I like that, Danny, because next door at the Havana Cigar Club, it's a full cigar lounge. It's 3,000 square feet. They've got the largest humidor in Rhode Island. And one of the things they do for the members and non-members is they have a high-low jack and a poker league. And they just totally integrate that into the thing. They got big poker tables. So, I think you hit the nail on the head on tapping into that market.
Yeah, we'd like to, in the future, do more with our good accounts. And it's neat. The room came out, beautiful. And the guys liked it because, like I said, the room before wasn't, all that attractive. And when we did the launch over there last week, it was a big hit. Not only because we launched the cigar up here in the Northeast for the rake, but also we unveiled the rake poker room, and it was a big hit.
I'm just gonna say, if you guys ever do a poker contest in New England, I am so there.
Oh, they do it next door, dude.
Oh no,
I never told you that.
Oh, with rake.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, they have like a whole tournament.
Oh no,
and they pick a winner at the end. You win like a box of cigars or
I'm saying if Rake did a promotion tour.
Yeah, you guys totally need to do a tour.
I like Apollo, man. Apollo is
he's
on point.
He is.
I like what you guys are doing. I'm all behind it. It's awesome.
It's fun when a brand has a theme. It makes it it makes it, I think, more attractive to customers, and it just makes it more fun.
But you have to have a product that stands behind that. And
exactly.
Smoking your cigar tonight, it's very good. It's very well balanced. It's not overpowering. There's some great flavors that come from it, and I'm really digging it.
I gotta say, the Rake Touring Poker Series.
There you go.
And Paul, when you smoke that cigar, I mean, you're smoking it and you're enjoying it. When you kind of have it in that one of those relaxed modes, it's going to be one you're going to see. Wow, there's even more that comes out of that cigar. It was a lot of nuances with the flavors in that thing.
Yeah, no, and you're right. Well, when you're here doing the show and having a cigar at the same time, sometimes it's tough to focus your brain on focusing on the cigar and focusing on the show. So even doing that, I'm very much enjoying the cigar and getting a lot of the flavors out of it. So having some quiet time, in my workshop, watching my TV, chilling out. I definitely want to smoke more of these.
We're very lucky that we're able to work with Eric and
There's a
the
ninja in the background. If you guys
I
haven't
see
noticed.
that. I see that.
Eric's
It's
in
a
the back.
ninja sword.
Don't
That should
hide.
be.
Say hello.
Is that speaking to your next cigar release? Is it going to be like a ninja sword release?
No. We're not disclosing that one on the show.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you got, with the whole martial arts theme, you guys got a lot to pull from. I have a martial arts background, and that's it's a cool theme to tap into. And you're right, not a lot of other cigar manufacturers have really tapped into that whole theme. And I think it's important for a limited release to tap into a theme like that. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, and especially, everyone gets accused of copycatting these days, right? You guys have come out with some really unique products. And I think unique cigars that go with these are not cookie cutter blends. That's what I've been real impressed with these cigars.
Like I said before, we're extremely lucky that that we're able to work with Espinosa Cigars and the La Zona factory, because the Eric's partners down there, the father and son team, and even Hector that travels a lot back and forth. It's I think all the accolades and all the great reviews and everything that's going on, the cigars coming out of there are just getting a lot of great buzz, and they're pretty much speaking for themselves.
He's done great since he opened, but the last 12 months he's gone to another level. They've gone to another level with that factory right now. The stuff's just been hit after hit in my book. He's not missing. So you guys are with a really good factory right now.
And we're very happy. We're very happy that we're with them as well.
So what do you guys have coming out next? You guys going to be at the show? Do you have any announcements coming out for the show?
For the show, we're just going to release, obviously to the masses, the rake, even though we already started shipping it. But at the shows, we'll release the Chinese finger trap to nationwide.
Excellent.
We try to keep it simple because we're a very small company, and we just don't want to come out with a ton of blends. We really like to take our time, and it takes us a long time to finalize and pick a blend and blend. So for us, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And being that we're new, when we want people, when they try the cigars, to say, wow, this is unbelievable, who are these guys? And ultimately we'll take baby steps to our growth.
I would be surprised if you guys don't become like a cult favorite.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I think I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing it with these guys. They have a really good following on social media, and it's growing.
Danny and Nelson, your success on social media somewhat depends on your answers to the Stogie Geeks 5 questions that we're about to ask you. So are you guys ready to play 5 questions with the Stogie Geeks?
Boy, let's go.
Here we go.
All right. I'm going to start with Danny. I'm going to go to Nelson, and then I'm going to alternate the 5 questions. So Danny, you're up first. 3 words to describe yourself.
3 words to describe myself.
Stubborn, and stubborn. Can I?
Spoken like a true partner in business, right?
Yeah, right. My God, that's a tough one. We should have just left it at 1, and I would have said stubborn.
All right, so we got 1. It's stubborn. You need 2 more.
I definitely say caring. I care a lot about people more than I do sometimes about myself. And the other one is family. I think that's a big one. I'm real big, with family.
Nelson, over to you.
Well, I would say I thought you were going to hit me with a different question, man.
Nope, you got 3 words to describe yourself.
I'd say I'm a perfectionist. I'm very detail oriented with a lot of things. I'm going to steal Danny's answer of family. I'm married. I have 2 little girls, and that's something that's a big part of me. That's why we're doing all this, and that's something that's very important to me. And I'd say passionate. You know, I like to be passionate about anything that I'm involved in, and make sure that you know that it's something that's true. You know what I mean?
So Nelson, if you were a serial killer, what would be your weapon of choice?
That was too easy.
Well, I think you broke up there. What was your answer?
The nunchuck.
The nunchuck. Danny, if you were a serial killer, what would be your weapon of choice?
A knife, because my favorite scary movie was Halloween. Michael Myers. So I gotta pick a knife.
My wife and I Halloween is our favorite as well. So Danny, if you wrote a book about yourself, what would the title be?
Driving myself crazy.
Nelson. I think Nelson's frozen.
I'm thinking here.
Oh,
This is
okay.
a hard
I
one.
wasn't sure if your Skype
deep
connection was frozen a little bit.
You look frozen.
I'd say what the fuck.
So, Nelson, in the popular game of Ask Grabby Grabby, do you prefer to go first or second?
Second.
Danny?
No, first. Nobody wants to be sloppy.
Danny, choose two.
That's why you guys are good partners.
There you go. It's perfect. It's a perfect marriage. Danny, choose two celebrities to be your parents.
Two celebrities to be my parents. Jesus.
That's one.
Well,
Oh my God.
to be my parents. Al Pacino
Oh.
Good one.
and
Eric saying Caitlyn Jenner and Bruce Jenner.
yeah.
Hey, it can be two moms. It can be two dads. We're totally open to that.
Let's go with Al Pacino and Sophia Loren.
Oh.
Nelson, over to you. Choose two celebrities to be your parents.
I don't even have one in this one. These guys are going crazy over here.
Ronald McDonald.
I heard Ronald McDonald. That's
Same
great.
part.
I haven't heard that one yet.
That's got to go on the best.
Come on,
the best
Nelson,
of.
surprise
That's
me.
gotta go on the best of.
Give me something I haven't heard of.
Ronald.
My last guest on my previous show, it's not a cigar show, but my previous show said Andre the Giant for his dad. That was an original answer for this. And not that I'm setting the bar high for you, but
I'm sure he did.
I'm not a celebrity guy, but I'm not.
What about a personal hero? There we go.
yeah, personal hero, alive or dead.
Oh man, you guys got me with this one.
It's an hour show.
Can I get back to you?
The most popular answer. Do you want to hear the most popular answer?
I'm gonna say
Go ahead,
say
Nelson.
Bruce Lee and Madonna.
There you go. I like
Good
that.
one.
That's
a good
awesome.
one. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, Danny and Nelson, thank you very much for appearing on the Stogie Geek Show. Thank you very much for the cigars. You guys are doing great work, so keep it up.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
we'll see you
guys for
next
having
week.
us, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it as always.
And with that, we're going to take a short break. Come back with our Debonair Ideal segment for this show. We talk about visiting cigar shops. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.